Hi, everybody, and welcome back. Today, we are going to go off track a little, and in this process, we may refer back to old videos I've done. Look, I do not know one single person who is perfectly flawless. We all have our quirks and we have all made mistakes, some worse and bigger than others. Where would most of us have been if it wasn't in human nature to forgive? Forgiveness is a healing process, not necessarily for the person who is being forgiven, but for the person who is doing the actual forgiving. But my friends, forgiving does not mean forgetting, and forgiving does not mean that there should be no accountability. Forgiving also does not mean that others should be left vulnerable and unprotected. We often hear about or talk about mental illness. We read, see, and hear about various forms of criminality. And in a way, mental illness and criminality goes hand in hand, and often the two are linked. So, if someone commits a crime but has a provable mental illness, does that mean we should forgive and forget and let them go free because, oh, shame, they have a mental illness? Yes, we can forgive in our hearts, and yes, we may even have empathy. But of course, he or she still has to pay for the crime. If you do the crime, you do the time. And why is that? Well, it is because other people, their families, their colleagues, and the general public have rights too and needs to be protected from this person and his or her deeds. And the perpetrator also needs to learn there is a reaction to every action, and accountability is key in a functioning society. So, why am I preaching this? Not because it is Sunday, my friends, but because I have been sitting on hundreds of email and DMs, which, firstly, I did not have the time to research and verify. And secondly, which I had to step back from and consider and reconsider my chosen words, obviously for legal reasons. And thirdly, because I have already addressed the subject, but it appears it is currently a subject which is not dying down. And as time passes, more details and stories are indeed emerging. I will post a link to my previous video on the same subject in the description box below. But where shall we start today? Well, I'm going to keep it simple and start with the truth. A year or so ago, I received a DM from a female on Instagram. She has now since closed that Instagram account, and I never knew her real name. However, I vividly remember her message, although not word for word or syllable for syllable. In her DM, she asked for my email address and my real name, and basically just told me it concerns Harry and something that happened to him and with him many years ago. I gave her my name and email address, and she emailed me and told me it concerns a very traumatic event Harry was part of. I noticed from her email address that she was emailing me from Australia. She said that she had only parts of the story and was trying to get the entire story from her father, as she feels deeply that it is something the world should be made aware of and that the truth should be told. The next email I got, she apologized to me and said she was very sorry, but she can't say anything anymore because her father reacted very badly when she told him what she was planning to do and when she asked him to fill in the blanks for her. He said he would leave and never speak to her again. Anyway, I was disappointed, but I set it aside and eventually forgot about it, except for mentioning it to a friend once. Since that email, I have received a few others, one or two talking about Harry allegedly getting rough with prostitutes when he was in the army. There was another story about him being inappropriate and rough with a girl who worked in one of the palaces. Then there was yet another story, something that happened after a party, etc., etc. But how can one talk about it publicly unless you have absolute proof? You can't. Legally, it would be slander and defamation. So, all I can say to all these email and DMs is send me some proof, medical records, correspondence, photographs, and I can and will do something with it because it is not right or fair to keep something like that hidden if it is at all true. The life of every young woman is worth as much, if not more, than that of an aimless, non-working, drug-addicted prince. If true, even if only a third or a quarter of the stories I received are true, then the man needs to serve time in a prison or be locked up in a psychiatric facility, as society has the right. Our daughters, girlfriends, sisters, and wives have the right to be protected. If some of the stories are true, then it also means that some of these young women or their families or carers accepted money on their behalf to keep quiet and protect the secret. Yes, I understand life is expensive. Yes, I understand medical and psychiatric treatments are expensive. But what about the next girl and the next one and the one after that? Do they deserve the pain and the emotional and physical damage? For legal reasons, I want to pause here and reiterate that I have no proof that any of this is true and no proof that any of these alleged incidents occurred. What I'm talking about here are from DMs, email, posts on Twitter, Quora, Reddit, Instagram, etc. It can all be baseless gossip for all I know. But the point I want to make is that no matter who the perpetrator of such a crime is, no matter who his father is or how much money they collectively have, we all deserve equal protection under the law. We all breathe the same air, and that prince shits just like you. Okay, moving on because I'm being very brave today. We know that BetterUp's offices are in San Francisco. We are told that Harry works mostly from home, but of course he goes to the office in San Francisco from time to time for meetings and events. I was told that he rents an apartment there for this purpose, but now I'm told that he spends most of his time when in San Francisco at the BetterUp condo, and that stories of parties where the booze is flowing, illegal drugs are being passed around, and sex parties are at the order of the day are now being leaked because these activities are funded with investors' money. Do I personally know that this is true? Was I there? Have I seen it? Do I have photographs or recordings to prove these allegations? No, I don't. It may all be hogwash, but why are these stories stacking up? Why is there, along with stories about these tech parties, now also a story of BetterUp allegedly settling a seven-figure lawsuit involving our least favorite prince? What is going on? It is time for the truth because the public deserves to be protected as much as these entitled rich brats. Again, Harold, Harry, Has, or H, whatever you want to call him today, may be 100% innocent, and maybe his red mist has never ever befallen him while he was with a woman. I don't know, but if it has, then the time has come for someone to speak up and tell the truth. Maybe one of those army buddies. Remember, your duty is to serve and protect. But my friends, the story does not end there. And in the next video, we'll look at what I uncovered about BetterUp, the Aspen Institute, and so forth. So until then, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.